Thanks for joining us tonight for a Dreamtime Transmission. Hopefully, these dreams help you drift into sleep easily. I would greatly appreciate it if you liked and subscribed before you drift off. New videos are released every night, so join us tomorrow if you like. Thank you, and good night. From Motherworker-54445. One night I dreamed about my dad taking me to this fancy Indian temple in West Virginia. That's where his house was and where I grew up. Years later, I'm on that website that tells you weird places in different states. I forgot what it's called. There's this gigantic golden hair Krishna temple, just randomly in the mountains of West Virginia. I swear to God, I had no prior knowledge of that. The day before some pagan temple opened in Iceland, a few years ago, I had a weird dream that I was watching a History Channel special on these newly found child sacrifice ritual spots all over that area. From Strong Passage 6708, I 27M am married to my high school sweetheart 26F. We met at 17, got engaged at 21, married at 22. I cheated on my wife in a drunken night out before we got married. I didn't have intimacy with the other girl, but some inappropriate things did occur. I was guilt-ridden and told my wife. She forgave me, and I promised I would never do anything to hurt her again. I stopped watching porn, quit watching thirst trap TikToks, and deleted any girl on all social media who posted anything revealing or inappropriate. That was a year ago. Fast forward to a month ago. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. from a deep sleep where I had a vivid dream that I found photos and videos of my wife having sex with another man. When I confronted her in the dream, she said it was revenge because I cheated. A week later, I had another dream. Same situation, same guy, same reason for cheating. Although this time I dreamt I saw text messages she sent him telling him all of my secrets and insecurities. Since then, I've had this dream a dozen more times. I don't feel like I can talk to my wife about it. Every time it happens, I'm depressed all day. Should I speak to a therapist? Should I tell my wife? Any input would be appreciated. From Tattooed Mama. I had a dream last night that I went to work without a bra or shirt on. And I wasn't embarrassed. I've had dreams throughout life where I'd go to school with no clothes in at all, and I would try to hide or get home or something. This time I didn't have a care. Then my manager had to bring me in the office and talk to me about it. What does this mean? Lol. From Darfizzinut22. Basically, it's a weird dream. All I can remember is her spitting on the floor and me using my tongue to clean IT. IRL, I would not allow this, lol. What does this mean? From Pure for Life TLDR. I did CPR on someone. My arms gave out, so I woke up to rest. I think my incompetence and weak arms killed them. I'm so goofy silly for I saw a distressed classmate, Mao, Japanese name, lie on a bench. My crush Philip was there standing by her. She fainted. I saw another classmate rush out and greet me. Come on, fast, you need to do CPR. She led me into the school bathroom. I saw a fainted student, Donahue, on the ground with one of her eyes whited out with some red veins. I immediately slammed my hands on her ribcage and started CPR. I kid you not. Then I got too tired, and then I woke up. I've never felt so pathetic before. Even when I did the CPR, I messed up the BPM and was really inconsistent with it. I tried singing the Bee Gees in my head. Statin' alive, staying alive, staying alive, and some more lyrics that I forgot. I think they died from my incompetence to do CPR. Before that, I was at school. I was with a crush I used to like in high school and another old classmate, and they kept flirting with me but never asked me out. So I asked them out instead. You know what that fucker did? They just walked away and didn't give a response. That happened again when I caught them flirting with me for the second time, and again, and then again. God damn. Dude, don't just walk away like an NPC after I notice you flirting with me. I know you might have been hesitant, but that's just poor communication from you. They kept dodging the question. Easy way to not be confrontational. Eventually, I had enough with them and told them if they want to go out with me, then they need to tell me. It just felt so frustrating that they weren't being direct. It would be much easier if I knew their intentions. I never got that closure in real life either, Taba. Weirdest thing ever. End of rant. 20 minutes after waking up. From Soleil _Loon 7. I am a middle-aged lady hiking a mountain with a group. We get to a point where there are no longer any trees. The grass is all one exact length, like fake grass pads, and the incline gets progressively steeper until it's vertical. There is a horizontal stripe of dead yellow grass on the vertical portion of the slope, just barely in view from where I stand with the group. One of the others remarks that no one has ever been able to climb to that point. I start climbing, almost as a joke, thinking it a fun challenge. As I climb higher, the stripe seems to be even further than it appeared from the ground. But I'm getting close, and now the group is cheering me on. I reach the stripe, fingers woven around handfuls of grass. It should be exhilarating. I've just broken a world record. It's not, though. In fact, I go into a sort of frenzied state as I see yet another stripe even further up the climb, which now just appears to be a vertical wall of grass. As I continue my climb, I don't notice that I can no longer hear the group's cheers, and I get the feeling that if I were to look back, I wouldn't be able to see them either. But I couldn't fathom taking the time to check. Even the ardor of the climb barely registers as I zero in on reaching the next stripe. The sudden and intense desire I'm feeling would be terrifying on its own if all of my other senses and feelings weren't seemingly muted. When I reach the second stripe, a third is revealed. This pattern continues, with each stripe that passes another is revealed. I lose track of how many stripes I've climbed, and I can't be sure if it's because of the quantity or this strange obsession that has overtaken me. Eventually, the next stripe has a strange, shimmery, glowing appearance. As I reach this stripe, a warm, dizzy feeling falls upon me as my feelings return fully and I black out. I find myself inside some sort of cave, and I can only assume it is inside the top of the mountain. There is a warm, bright apparition in the room with me, and I can sense its words, though it doesn't make a sound. My presence is long awaited. I was singled out specifically to be called to the mountain, complete the climb, and in return, receive a divine gift. I sense the powers this being wishes to bestow upon me, and in vain I refuse it. I am a businesswoman, content in my life as it is, and I don't want magical powers to come in and mess everything up. What's the point of having put in all that hard work if I now receive divine powers that could just as easily have given me success at the snap of a finger? But it is no use. The prophecies must be fulfilled, and this being has the power to do so, whether or not I cooperate. I resign to receiving the powers, although I secretly plan to never use them, and enter another blackout that returns me to the real world. When I come to, I am falling through the air. I'm certainly going to die, but at least it will be with a picturesque view of a little canal filled with gondolas. That's when the cave spirit's words fill my head. I must use my powers to fly. Great, now I've got a powerful spirit riding backseat to my life. On top of that, there are people riding in gondolas and sightseeing from the cliffs on either side. So much for not letting magical powers impact my life. I go on to use the powers to fly, being seen and reported by all the witnesses. The flying is actually somewhat fun. I discover I have basically gained the powers of a god and can do pretty much anything. I test out the abilities in my day-to-day life. I have a sense that there is something sinister about the powers. As I use them, I begin to get the same feeling I had climbing the mountain, like the humanity is fading from me. But I don't get to the point where anything particularly bad happens in the dream. From Triscore 124. For three days, I have been dreaming of an entity wanting to possess me. In those three appearances, it was represented by different personas, but had the same characteristics. All had a coal-black, dirty skin, like she rolled over powdered coal, and had glowing eyes. For some reason, even if it appeared differently, I knew it was the same entity. In each dream, it wanted to engulf me, and I screamed out a prayer every time it attempted to do so. I am a Catholic, and believed also in the supernatural beings. In the last two dreams, it seemed my prayers did not ward the entity off, but as soon as the prayer ends, I would instantly wake up and escape from its hands. I have been bothered by these dreams and thinking if I was on the verge of being possessed. I wanted to know if you guys had a similar experience and what to do with these kinds of dreams. Thank you in advance. P.S. Earlier this day, I suddenly saw a Benedictine medal. In our religion, this was usually worn as protection from evil, which I thought I had lost a year ago. I'm amused at the great timing that I found it when I realized I needed it. From the Awesome Heel. Here's a bit of background. I was in a 2.5-year relationship between ages 18 to 20 with a girl who was 2 years younger than me, 31M now. It was my longest relationship up to that point. Things did not end very amicably. She went off to college where I visited her on the weekends, and a few months later she ghosted me to end the relationship, and there were signs that she was unfaithful. A few months later, I started dating my wife, who I have been with for almost 11 years now, and have a happy and healthy marriage with. She knew my ex only through me. They were acquaintances. Since then, my ex tried on 3 occasions to contact me at least 3 years after we broke up. I had to block her and have not seen or have talked to her since. After all these years now, I don't hold any grudges towards her, but I feel no need to reconnect. I don't think about her and haven't bothered to look her up. She's just a part of my list of exes. Looking back, we were young, naive, and making promises to each other that we probably shouldn't have. I've had a few dreams, though, over the years where she randomly popped up as if nothing happened. In the first dream, she played homewrecker. She tried to sabotage my relationship to win me back. The second dream was years later, where things were a bit more amicable. I bumped into her and her family. They invited me over for dinner. My wife was cool with it. Her and I went out for ice cream to catch up, where she asked why I ignored her all these years, and I told her why, also saying that I was now married. She wanted back together, but I told her I was committed to my marriage and I just wanted to be friends. It got a little heated, but after mentioning to her what she did to me, she understood where I was coming from, and we both agreed to stay friends. The third dream was last night, maybe a year or so after the last one. In this one, I was actually in a relationship with her until I, in my dream, received a call from my wife, and for some reason, it suddenly kicked in that I was married, so I quickly ended things with X. But this time it was amicable. She understood and told me to be happy, where I wished the same for her. This was so random and IDWBTF happened here, but I was so relieved to wake up to my wife next to me. I'm trying to figure out why, and I am hoping to God this is not a sign. I love my wife, she is my world, and I would and have never thought of being unfaithful. I have mentioned, though, to my wife when talking about exes that I do wish I had some closure on why my ex ended things with me. Mainly because it bothered me for so long that I was never given a reason, and for months I thought there was something wrong with me or my personality. It really killed my confidence for a while. Apart from that, I don't hold any grudges towards her, and honestly, I hope she ended up finding love. She was gorgeous. I can't take that away from her. I chased her type all throughout high school and to finally get your dream girl, so I thought I was riding high. But she had a huge ego and, at times, a cold, bratty, entitled attitude. I dreaded the day I would run into her for so long, but over time, I got over that. If we were to ever cross paths, I would put it behind us and try to have amicable small talk, as I do with anyone I haven't seen in over 10 years. I just hope this dream was nothing more than that, a dream. From Bridesign 34, used AI to help reconstruct essentially what I saw in my dream last night. Key differences were that from my POV, I was right next to the building, not viewing it from a distance. The building was more nondescript, and I have the sense that it was a very clinical building, like a research outpost or admin building or something like that. Lastly, the orbs were perfectly round in my dream, not oval/amorphous. And they were coming down from high up, more or less in a linear fashion, as if from a single source, not spread all around as depicted here. Otherwise, it's pretty close to what I saw. For the record, I don't put any stock in dream meanings. I just thought it was weird and interesting. I rarely remember my dreams, let alone have one that was so realistic. From Hold Mine the Dark. Last night, I had a random dream that my ex got decapitated. I have no feelings for my ex, and I'm even talking to another girl now, and things look to be going great, and needs are finally getting met, and I feel happy. For context, if it matters, I felt incredibly unhappy and suicidal and depressed in that relationship. What's the meaning behind this? I remember feeling anxiety in it because I was getting blamed for her death when it appeared to be an accident. And I woke up with anxiety.
From Moozy Duck. Okay, so recently I've been looking into lucid dreaming because that sort of thing really interests me, and I was able to do it once so far. This dream wasn't really a lucid dream, but I did feel in control of my words. I was in school walking down the hall. I had a conversation with someone that I do know from one of my classes, but then I started talking with this girl. I'm not sure if she told me her name, but I knew that it was Soph, which is weird and not very popular. I've never heard it before this. Right before this, I had a dream about a song with my best friend in it, where I was sort of gatekeeping the song, I guess. In this new dream, Soph and I were talking about the song and how incredible it was and about the lyrics. We made some jokes together and had an overall playful conversation. I could literally feel myself blushing the whole time. Then, I started to leave, but she called me back by name and told me, "This conversation has been romantic and full of tension." She trailed off, and I immediately asked her for her social media. I thought about just getting her number, but I was worried that was too forward. That's how the dream ended, and I immediately woke up and almost cried when I realized it was a dream. I can't stop crying, honking about her, and picturing her face. Does anyone have any sort of insight on this?
From Miss Doe-Eyed Bambi, I heard recently about announcement dreams and wonder if I've been having one the last few years. I'm not currently pregnant, or plan to be soon. 2 years ago, in June, I had a dream of a beautiful baby boy with green eyes. I don't recall much of the dream beyond this. The same night, my mother apparently had a similar dream of having a grandbaby boy with green eyes. During this time, I was in a relationship, but neither of us have green eyes, and the baby didn't look like him. Then, this past June, I had a dream again about the baby boy with green eyes, almost down to the exact day. By this time, I was single and not thinking of children. Just makes me wonder if I'll be meeting this baby boy in the future.
From Mixie's Minds. Hi, I'm new to Reddit, but I have a problem that doctors really aren't helping. I got a concussion about a month ago, and I'm diagnosed with post-concussive syndrome, which is a fancy way of saying my brain is broken and needs extra time to recover. The main symptom I have is antegrade amnesia, or the inability to form new memories since my accident. I wake up not knowing where I am, who my roommate is, and if it's the day of my accident. For the first hour of my day, it's Groundhog Day, and then my brain slowly picks up cues about my surroundings. These are all symptoms of which I know the cause, and they don't explain my problem today. Every time I sleep, I have insanely vivid dreams. There are smells, sounds, feelings, physical injuries or sensations, long story arcs, and sensible plots. The problem is that my scrambled brain is filing those away as memories instead of my actual memories. Not only that, but these dreams are so violently lifelike that I wake up tired, bruised, and with my mind racing about the evil gargoyle that was totally real and chasing me. It's getting annoying and exhausting because I wake up completely drained and confused. I feel like I am being transported to an alternate dimension, like a YA protagonist every night. My doctors don't think it's that bad, but it's interfering with my quality of life. This is my way of asking if anyone has experienced this, with or without concussion, and what you did. Or just knowing that I'm not alone, and not completely losing what is left of my mind. I don't care how many sleeping pills or prescription drugs are required to solve this problem. TLDR, my brain is causing me hella vivid dreams and mistaking them as memories. Please help!
From OK Opportunity 9075. I had a dream about discovering telekinesis skills by accident. And it was my best dream ever. Basically, in my dream, if I focused enough on the object, I felt a connection to it. And like around my hand, and perhaps the object I could see some gathering energy, and I could lift the object, move it, and glue it to my hand. However, when I was losing focus, then I would lose the control of the object, and it would fall apart. Objects had weight to it. It was different when trying to lift an apple, for instance, than something that already weighed some kilograms. When I was lifting something heavier, then I would feel like I was using physical strength and get tired, and while lifting something light, it was effortless. Also, This dream was connected somehow to Star Wars before I got the telekinesis skills I've seen in third person. I don't know if I was there occurring Order 66 and Anakin slaughtering other Jedi. Then I got into some medieval building, kinda, and I think then it cut off. And next, what I remember was discovering my telekinesis at my grandma's house.
From Secure Ad 4872. There was this short scene when I was drowning, and my younger self saved me from drowning. Last nights, am having dreams about old classmates. Quiet, nostalgic. Anyone know what it could mean? From Sandwich Maker 777. Hey guys, first time posting here, and please don't mind the grammar/English mistakes. It's currently 3 a.m. as I'm writing this. I haven't been able to sleep all night. I check my phone and see that it's 1:20 a.m. in the morning and really need to get some rest. Literally within the 30 mins I was asleep for. I have a vivid dream where I was in a stranger's apartment, and I think I've OD'd trembling spasms like I was dying. The random stranger man, whose face I didn't see or voice I didn't recognize, says, "Oh, fuck not again." I wake up still trembling like I was on the floor dying, still like in my dream. What does this dream represent? Is it fear? For a little backstory, I'm a stripper who occasionally does topless waitressing for parties, but never work alone. So isn't weird for me to be partying with a stranger, but alone definitely not.
From Confident Till 8952. Had one of those dreams where I am exhausted all day, lol. Basically, I was in a school. There was no one to hang out with, so I kept sneaking into events that a school in a neighboring town would have. A lot of the dream was just me walking up, down, and around this multi-level staircase and other staircases around the school. Then sometimes exploring hallways and looking into classrooms. Even my legs were tired this morning, haha. Sometimes the gymnasium would be dark for the event. Then the hallways would be light. I eventually met a girl and asked her to go to the next event with me. Basically, she said yes. But I ended up wanting to go to the event with another girl, and it made her mad, and I think made me feel guilty. Then the rest of the dream is me sneaking into this school for all these events, then realizing other kids from my town were doing the same thing. Then people from the school started catching on and getting upset. So we were trying to sneak in and make friends, while also trying to get them to accept us and not be mad if they found us out. Lol. Also, the school name was some typical town school name, Woodbridge. Haha. I wonder what any of this means.
From USA Freefall 1234. I live in the USA and dreamt last night about the Alpha Lotto based in another country. Would I be able to play that lotto, or would it just mean I would win soon in my home country? Thanks.
From Mass Airy, I just went through one of the scariest and surreal dreams I've ever went through. It started off with me getting off my couch after a little nap and entering the kitchen to get a drink. After which, I wake up to being really disoriented, thinking that what I experienced before was real. So I decide to go into my own room and sleep again since I'm exhausted, to which I wake up on the couch again. This freaks me out into running down the hallway and just trying to escape, where I promptly once again wake up on the couch, to my blanket actively couching me, choking me, while whisper inaudible words in my ear. Weird experience. Don't recommend sleeping on couches after that one.
From Stelliferous7. Okay, so I was trapped in a place with others in it. Our capture was of course unhinged. I wanted food and a way out of here. A guy found a key, and it was in a paper slip. He was killed by the capture, but he didn't know I had the key. I would lay down and sit on the key so he wouldn't see it. I then asked for food. He gave me a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of it was inedible. He made me eat all of it in one sitting, or he would kill me. Part of the stuff I had to eat were coins. It hurt so bad. Then finally I was outside, but I don't remember sneaking out of if the capture actually came outside with me. Okay, this is the next part or other dream I had. This involves spoilers from the show Supernatural, BW. I was in a grocery store. There I saw Sam Winchester from Supernatural. I actually don't know if I was supposed to be him in that dream. Maybe? Then Sam, possibly Sam, who was supposed to be me, saw what may have been the demon Lilith, except she was a creepy little girl you'd see in horror movies. Sam's possibly me asked if she was Lilith. I don't remember her answer, but I don't think she answered in the affirmative. I just got vibes about it. She still seemed creepy and demonic. There were people in the store. She cast something on the wall, and they were arranged so that he had to rearrange the words on the wall like it was a code. Apparently Sam saw the words before and he was trying to remember what it said unscrambled. Finally, he got it. It said something about how he was the Antichrist. In the show, a demon said he was some sort of Antichrist. So, yes, the episode I saw recently could have played a part of it, but I'm not sure. Then, in the store, groups of people formed between anti-authoritarian and authoritarian people. There were sorts of foods or brands the other didn't have. Sam, possibly I were on the anti-authoritarian side.
Hopefully, you aren't hearing this message because you are asleep, but if you are still awake, I would like to thank you for joining us for tonight's Dreamtime Transmission.